In this video, I'm going to provide you 4 proven steps on how you can unlock $50,000 in business credit even if your LLC is brand new. Let's begin. Okay, let's get into it, family. So you want $50,000 or more in capital for your business, but your LLC is new. Well, we want to make sure first and foremost that LLC is structured the right way. What does that look like? So for starters, you want to make sure that you have your articles of organization together, right? So for those who don't know, this is essentially the paperwork that actually makes your LLC an LLC. Now, there are 2 places you can go to file this. You could either go to busy.com or you can go to your Secretary of State website. I'm a proponent of busy.com just because with Busy, it's super easy. And unlike platforms like LegalZoom, you don't have to pay extra fees on top of whatever your state filing fee is. Your state filing fee may fluctuate depending on whatever city or state that you're from, what state that you're from, but roughly it's usually anywhere between like $100 on the low end to like $250 on the high end, give or take. But once again, busy.com makes it super simple, no extra fees beyond your state filing fee. They kind of just rely on upsells for you to buy along the way, which you'll see as I go through this, you don't even need those either. And it only takes about 5 to 10 minutes. Okay. And you also want to make sure as you're going through this process, you're using consistent details across the board. So consistent name, address, phone number, and email. You don't want one part of your business to have one address and another part of your business to have another address or contact information or whatever it may be. After you get that, you want to make sure that you have a separate business address, right? Why? Because business information is public information. If your business address is currently connected to your house, I can find out, people are going to be able to see where you live, right? We don't want that. So you want to make sure that your business has its own separate address. Does this mean that you have to open a brick and mortar? No. There are virtual mailboxes and virtual offices or office spaces that you could rent for pennies on a dollar to attach to your business when you're creating your LLC. My personal favorite, people know that I swear by this, is anytimemailbox.com. Reason why is because it's cost efficient. These are actual office spaces and they're not PO boxes, and it's super legitimate. So anytimemailbox.com, and it's only going to cost you $10 a month, if that. Right. And once again, this is the actual address where you could receive mail, right? So it's not just a fake address where people can actually send you mail there. So very important. Then after that, you want to get your business phone number, email, and website set up. So the best places I could tell you for all those things is for your phone and email, you want to get that from Google Workspace. So Google Voice will charge you about, I think like $10 for a phone number. Email, you want to get that from Google. I think it's like Google Workspace. Remember, your business email is not going to be, John James at gmail.com or Sarah Lee at gmail.com. It's going to be info at your business name, contact at your business name, support at your business name. You get that set up through Google, right? For your website, I put Google domains here, but really you want to go and get this through like a contractor on Fiverr or like Upwork, pay them like $100, $125. It doesn't have to be fancy. It just has to be present so that once again, your business is properly structured for you to go and get the funding you're looking for. After that, you want to go and get your EIN. This is probably the easiest part of creating an LLC because it's free and it takes 5 minutes to do. If you're watching this video right now, you can actually go get an EIN for your business without pausing this video, and you'd probably finish getting the EIN and the video would still be going on right now. Guaranteed. Like it literally is that fast, but it's free. Don't have to pay anything for it. It's not hard to set up. They ask you like 5 questions. Boom, you got your EIN. You just want to make sure the LLC is in place before you get the EIN. Otherwise, they're not going to allow you to sign up for it. And I think they only allow you to sign up for it on business days within business hours. Otherwise, if you try and do it outside of those windows, even though it's online, the website may not let you. So just something to keep in mind. But once again, it's easy. You don't have to pay somebody $200, $300, $500 to do this for you. You can do it for yourself, by yourself. You hear me? Then after that, you have operating agreements. So everybody talks about creating an LLC. Nobody talks about operating agreements. I think most people don't even understand what an operating agreement is. An operating agreement is a document that explains the nature of what your business does. So you want to get this. Are you going to need it often? Not really, but it's still important for you to have when it comes to the properly structuring your business. You can literally head over to a website like rocketlawyer.com, and on rocketlawyer.com, they will give you a template where you can just plug and play your business information and get it in 5 minutes. So truthfully, you can create a properly structured business literally within 1 hour because it takes nothing to get your address. It takes nothing to set all these other things up. The only thing that takes the most time is a website because that's the one thing that's out of your control, right? You got to hire somebody, but you can get all this 90% of this taken care of within the next hour. You could literally start doing all these things simultaneously while this video is going on right now. I'm telling you, it's crazy. But pretty much once again, when it comes to the checklist, you need to make sure you have a properly structured business. Once your articles of organization is filed, your address is secured, your business has a phone number, an email, and a website set up, you have your EIN and your operating agreement is ready, you're good to go. And remember, we're doing all of this. Why? For the bag. We're not just doing this for the sake of it, right? Or as we say in my language of Haitian Creole, we are not doing this pour grémessi, right? We're doing this for a reason, a big reason, because we want a big bag, bag. So we want to make sure that we have all these things in place, right? Now, after we do that, step number 2 is going to be make sure your personal credit is funding ready. Your LLC is the vehicle, but your personal credit is the engine that powers it. Hey, somebody say amen. I'm going to say it again as a matter of fact. Your LLC is the vehicle, but your personal credit is the engine that powers it. All right, and that's in 1 Experian chapter 3, verse 6. Make sure you read your credit Bible. Now, here's what the funding ready credit profile looks like, okay? Number one, you have to make sure that on your credit report, you have 100% on-time payment history. What does that mean? If it's on your report, paid on time. That's it. No lates, no 90-day lates, no 30-day lates, no lates at all on your credit report. And if you do have a late, you want to make sure that it's more than 2 years old. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to get funded. If your late happened within the last 2 years, you're going to get denied. If it's older than 2 years, it still shows on your report, but it no longer negatively affects your report. Important information for you guys to have. Anything newer must be disputed off or waited out, right, within the 7-year time period, because it usually takes 7 years for the late payment to remove or fall off, unless you want to dispute it off yourself. Next, you want utilization under 10%. The reason why is because less than 10% utilization actually optimizes your score so that it'll improve. Most people say 30%, but 30% doesn't hurt or help your score. It kind of just keeps it flowing in limbo. Under 10% is where you really want to sit to maximize what your credit report looks like. And then you want to have at least 2 years of credit history. Anything less than 2 years is going to be dang near impossible to get funded, because you look very new to banks, and banks don't want to deal with new individuals. They want to see you have a proven track record over the course of that 2-year period. So you want to make sure you do that. You also want to make sure you have no more than 3 hard inquiries for any of the credit reporting agencies, right? So max 3 on Experian, max 3 on TransUnion, max 3 on Equifax. Too many inquiries makes you look desperate, which in turn makes you look high risk. And it's important for you to remember, the best time to borrow is when you don't need it, because banks do not lending money to people who seem like they need it, only people who are moving like they just want it. Important to say. And when you have a lot of inquiries, you seem needy, especially if it's in a short period of time. Last one is comparable credit, right? So this is important. I get a lot of people who come to me all the time and they have everything under the sun that they need to get funded, but the one thing that they don't have is good comparable credit. What does that mean? Comparable credit is when a bank is lending you money in form of a business credit card, they're going to use your personal credit card limits to weigh if they'll approve you, and if they do approve you, how much they'll approve you for. If you have $2,000, $3,000, $5,000 limits on personal credit cards, it's going to be very difficult for you to get $20,000 to $25,000 approvals from any bank. So you want to maximize those limits before you start applying on the business side. I typically say try and have a minimum of $7,500 on the low end to $10,000 or higher on the high end when it comes to your personal credit limits. And remember, once again, that banks use comparable credit, right? So they will match your limits on the personal side. And it's important that you max these limits out before you start applying for business credit, unless you're okay with, getting a $2,000 card from Amex. Hey, mazel. But if not, get those limits up. Now, the third step is going to be building relationships with banks, right? So we've structured our business. We understand how to structure our personal credit report. Now we want to structure a relationship with the banks. Now, my rule of thumb, I would say you want to have 3 banks in total if you're starting from ground zero. You want to get 1 national bank. You want to get 2 regional banks. In my opinion, this is 2025 at the time of recording this video. Maybe you're watching this in 2026, 7, 8, or 9. I think in any of those years and beyond, this statement will still hold to be true. I think the only national bank that most people should prioritize building a relationship with is Chase. You have other banks out there. I'm not going to get into the politics of it all, but Chase is the only bank, as far as I know, that will give you up to $150,000 on 1 business credit card. I rest my case. And they're just the best across the board. I love them to death. So Chase, I always recommend as a national bank. Regional bank is dependent to you. So I'll normally say a bank like a Truist, but not everybody has a Truist. I can say a BMO bank, but not everybody has a BMO bank. I could say a Citizens, but not everybody has a Citizens, right? This is where you guys got to do your research to see like what banks are specific to whatever city or state that you're in that you could build relationships with, because these banks are in competition with the bigger banks. So they have more lenient underwriting when it comes to if they approve you and how much they'll approve you for. Don't take that for granted. Find your local bank, build a relationship with them, find out if they have business credit products, and go get you some paper, man. Go get you some wet. Go get you some butter, man. 1 national bank, 2 regional banks. So you have like 3 banks that you're essentially building a relationship with total. And if your financial situation allows for you to do so, open a business checking with each one and deposit $50 to $100 in each account. And if you can make continual deposits on a month-by-month basis, do so. But if you can't, do not stress. It's not the end of the world, but it would be helpful if you could. Right? You can also open a savings. Some people do say that, but I think it's a little overkill. Unless you want to do it, you can, but checking is more than enough. And then from there, like I said, nurture the relationship. So if you can make consistent deposits in all 3 of those accounts on a month-by-month basis, if you can't, just let those opening deposits you made just sit there untouched so that the relationship can nurture. Either way, you opening this account and building that relationship first before you start asking for stuff is good in the eyes of lenders. And then from there, the 4th step is to apply for the business credit, right? Now, this is very important. When you're applying, do not, I'm gonna highlight this. Do not apply online. Make sure you apply in branch. Matter of fact, I'm gonna make this green so y'all know this is what to do. And I'm gonna make this bold and I'm gonna make this red so y'all know this is what not to do. Apply in branch, not online. Apply in branch, not online. The reason why is because when you apply in branch, you get faster decisions. Business bankers are able to push in your application faster directly to underwriters. So you're able to get an answer right then and there while you're sitting at their table versus waiting 3 to 7 days online. You have higher approval odds because the underwriters can see when an application is coming in from you by way of your desktop or laptop from the house versus, Terry, who is a business banker of 25 years that's pushing the application in, which in turn gives you opportunity for bigger limits, right? So a higher chance to either get 25,000 to 50,000 and beyond. So when you're applying in branch, it once again increases your chance of approval, faster turnaround time, and higher funding limits. And I promise you, if you follow this 4-step framework down to a T, you are more than sure, you can bet your bottom dollar, you will be in position to get the 50 or maybe higher than that, $50,000 to $100,000 in funding that you are looking for your business. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. And if you did and you want to learn more free game and strategy just like this, I host a free masterclass every single week that I would love to see you at, where I teach you how to restore your credit, how to structure your business, and how to get access to $50,000 to $100,000 in capital step by step. If you're interested, the link for that class is in the description. Or if you're interested in working with me and my team on doing the exact same, head over to takeoffinancial.com if you're in need of, getting your credit in a much better position so you could do things like what we're talking about in this video. But as always, family, I appreciate y'all, and I will see you all on the other side of success. Peace.